Письмо, написанное у горящей свечи. Создатель, дай мне силу. Когда порождения тьмы пришли в Денерим, я так плакал, что ничего не видел вокруг, но я все же бился за тебя. Когда демоны наводнили небо над храмом священного праха, мои руки дрожали так, что я едва мог держать лук, но я все же бился за тебя. Когда Крифей и его архидемон уничтожили убежище и убили моих друзей, я кричал, пока у меня не исчез голос, но я все же бился за тебя. Они посылают меня в атаку на Адамант. Говорят, что крепость обороняет армия демонов, и шансов у нас мало. Мы не можем победить, но наше вмешательство, наши жертвы могут дать важным людям возможность сделать то, что нужно. Мне скручивает живот, и я вижу мертвых друзей из былых битв. Они тянут ко мне руки каждый раз, когда я закрываю глаза. Я так боюсь, Создатель, но все же я буду биться за тебя.
One down!
Прогул... Прогулки по тени, мгновение. Некогда я исследовал тень, вскрывая ее, как ученик вскрывает крысу или лягушку. Я был молод и жаждал обладать силой, которую могла подарить тень. Я тщетно чертил ее карту, а когда терпел неудачу, пытался удержать то, что запомнил. Я был так упрям, что боролся против самой природы тени, ибо возможно ли удержать в руке сон? Как можно контролировать мысль, но при этом не мешать ей двигаться от зарождения к плоду? Только когда я забыл о своем желании и стал скромнее, тень открылась мне. Духи пришли и сами стали моими провожатыми, моими факелами в кромешной ночи. По их повелению пути простираются все дальше и дальше, и я могу ступать на них снова и снова. Мне открыли бескрайние океаны, в которых плескалась не вода, а воспоминания об увиденных снах. Я плыл мимо застывших мгновений, совершенных, как картины, где каждый штрих прекрасен. Пока я исследовал эти невероятные воды, духи не пропускали ко мне сущности более мрачные. Я стал доверять духам, даже любить их, и видел, как в них отражается моя любовь. Чтобы познать тень, нельзя пытаться овладеть ею. Тень сама хозяин и учитель, мы лишь ее ученики.
This place is horrid.
Воззвание воина к духам. Волки были нашими союзниками. В древние времена еще до Андраста и до Создателя мы знали, что это так. Но человек устал от бега, от охоты, от правды, клыка, стали и крови. Человек стал сажать семена в землю, завел скот и кур, возвел изгороди от волков. Человек вывел псов, согласных угождать, сидеть и подчиняться, и убедил себя в том, что псы – это ничем не хуже. Но теперь вернулись порождения тьмы. Прорвали изгороди, убили скот и кур, сожгли урожаи. Наши псы поджали хвосты от страха, а если и сражаются, то погибают, отравившись оскверненной кровью. Умираем и мы, и я стыжусь своей трусости. Людям и псам не справиться одним. Я пришел к вам, духи старого леса. Я тот, кто возводил изгороди, кто огнем и мечом отгонял вас от жилищ. Я пришел к вам, потому что от страха у меня слабеют колени. Я прошу у вас безжалостной ярости, способной укрепить их. Убейте пса в моем сердце, напитайтесь мясом моих костей, а вместо него дайте мне волка.
We should search the area.
Страхи сновидцев. Пилигрим. Я пришел в храм священного праха с верующими, готовый помочь конклаву. Я молился Создателю о мире, но горы сотряслись и пали, и погребли меня. Один во тьме, мои ноги разбиты, я кричал от страха быть в мире, где нет Создателя, а лишь образы чудовищ появляются и растворяются во тьме. Освети мои последние часы, да приду я к Создателю без страха тьмы, смущающей меня.
What do you make of this? By the Maker. Could that be?
I greet you, Warden. And you, Champion.
Divine Justinia. Most holy.
Cassandra.
Cassandra, you knew the Divine. Is this really her?
I don't know. It is said the souls of the dead pass through the Fade and sometimes linger, but we know the spirits lie. Be wary, Inquisitor.
I fear the Divine is indeed dead. It is likely we face a spirit, or a demon.
You think my survival impossible, yet here you stand alive in the Fade yourselves. In truth, proving my existence either way would require time we do not have.
Really? How hard is it to answer one question? I'm a human, and you are...
I am here to help you. You do not remember what happened at the Temple of Sacred Ashes, Inquisitor.
No, I don't.
The memories you have lost were taken by the demon that serves Corypheus. It is the nightmare you forget upon waking. It feeds off memories of fear and darkness, growing fat upon the terror. The false calling that terrified the Wardens into making such grave mistakes? Its work.
I would gladly avenge the insult this nightmare dealt my brethren.
You will have your chance, brave Warden. This place of darkness is its lair.
Corypheus seems to have a lot of demons at his disposal. How does he command so many?
I know not how he commands his army of demons. His power may come from the Blight itself, but the nightmare serves willingly. For Corypheus has brought much terror to this world. He was one of the Magisters who unleashed the first Blight upon the world, was he not? Every child's cry as the archdemon circles. Every dwarf's whimper in the deep roads. The nightmare has fed well.
Can you help us get out of the Fade?
That is why I found you. When you entered the Fade at Heaven, the demon took a part of you. Before you do anything else, you must recover it. These are your memories, Inquisitor. Run while you can! Warn them! Why are you doing this? You, of all people!
What's going on here?
Why are you doing this? You, of all people!
Keep the sacrifice still.
Someone, help me! What's going on here?
So, your mark did not come from Andraste. It came from the orb Corypheus used in his ritual.
Corypheus intended to rip open the veil, use the anchor to enter the Fade, and throw open the doors of the Black City. Not for the old gods, but for himself. When you disrupted his plan, the orb bestowed the anchor upon you instead.
So this was what? An accident? A random ricochet in the middle of a fight?
And if it was?
If it was, then neither the Maker nor Andraste were in any way involved in this. I'm just...
If you believe in the Maker, then you believe he made this world, and everything in it, including your accident. And if you do not, then nothing has changed. You cannot escape the lair of the nightmare until you regain all that it took from you. You have recovered some of yourself, but now it knows you are here. You must make haste. I will prepare the way ahead.
Something troubles you, Hawk.
I wondered if you might be concerned about the Grey Wardens holding the Divine in that vision. Their actions led to her death.
I assumed he had taken their minds, as you have seen him do before. Come, we can argue after we escape this dark place.
Oh, I intend to.
Could that truly have been the most holy?
Justinia was unarmed and unprepared. She could not have defended herself against the creatures of the Fade. Whether this is a kindly spirit or a demon fighting its rival for territory remains to be seen.
I'm less concerned with her than I am with the nightmare she mentioned.
Sounds like it preys on fear. Stealing people's memories, that's low, even for a demon. Memories make us what we are. A monster that takes them away. I don't want to think about that.
After what it did to my fellow wardens, I pray we find some way to strike it down.
Письмо, трясущейся рукой. Сынок, когда ты будешь это читать, моровая скверна уже одолеет меня. Мы все отдали в Старкхейвене и выиграли для стражей время убить архидемона. Но когда я почувствовал скверну в ране, то понял, что до встречи с тобой не доживу. Фирус будет вербовать людей для поисков на поле боя. Ему хочется сделать из Старкхейвена что-то вроде империи, а с оружием с этих погибших серых стражей он мог бы завоевать вольную марку. Откажись, поле боя отравлено насквозь, и никакие речи, никакие уговоры, никакие упреки в малодушии тут не помогут. Все, кто забредет сюда сейчас, умрут. Тяни под любым предлогом и наблюдай за воронами. Эти птицы хорошо чувствуют мор. Когда они начнут собираться на поле боя стаями, тогда можешь считать, что яд ушел и отправился за безделушками для Фируса. Меня не будет с тобой рядом, сынок, так что учись у ворон. Они умеют терпеливо наблюдать, и их страх спасает им жизнь. Пожалуйста, прошу, смотри на ворон и делай то же самое. Сора.
We have a visitor. Some silly little girl comes to steal the fear I kindly lifted from her shoulders. You should have thanked me and left your fear where it lay, forgotten. You think that pain will make you stronger. What fool filled your mind with such drivel? The only one who grows stronger from your fears is me. But you are a guest here in my home, so by all means let me return what you have forgotten.
Когти Думата. Господин открыл новый алтарь. Он выше человека, похож на гигантскую статую, усеян огромными шипами, жаждущими крови. Господин называет его когтями Думата и говорит, что этот алтарь приведет Тивентер к славе. Я восхитился алтарем, как и ожидалось. Господин улыбнулся. Хорошо, что он снова улыбается. В последнее время его досадовала нехватка последователей. Он встречался с другими жрецами, и мне удалось подслушать, втайне обсуждали, как заставить народ Тивентера вновь поклоняться древним богам, единственным достойным. Потом днем он поговорил со мной и попросил называть его Корифеем, поскольку именно это имя собирается взять имя после ритуала. Господин, ныне Корифей, сказал, что мой народ, эльфы древности, были связаны с тенью, а потому для исполнения воли Думата им потребуется магия, что течет в нашей крови. Корифей велел мне собрать всех эльфийских слуг и привести их в западный зал нашего дома в полночь. В этом зале теперь хранятся когти Думата. По верхнему краю алтаря приделаны кандалы, а внизу под когтями есть емкость, испещренная рунами. Я отослал подальше жену и детей, а остальных не предупреждал. Увы, больше я никого не спасу. Попытаясь я спасти всех, нас бы убили еще как-нибудь, а на алтарь попали бы другие. Когда-то господин смеялся и шутил. Он бывал строг, но не жесток. Из-за слабости храмов в его сердце поселился страх. Он-то извинил его. Порезы на его руках теперь глубже и длиннее. Он все чаще и чаще использует магию крови. С женой почти не разговаривает, слушает только голоса в своих видениях. Уже почти полночь. У меня в голове только когти Думата, огромная, шипастая и безжалостная. Я должен собрать остальных. Мои близкие в безопасности. Пусть Корифей заберет меня, но не тех, кого я люблю. Страх ясновидцев. Землевладелец. Я видел, как мор разливается по моей земле. Мне некуда было идти. Я ухаживал за полями, как и раньше, даже когда вся скотина погибла и заболела вся моя семья. Тело терзало боль и дрожь. Я слишком поздно увидел яд, который проник в землю. В моих горячечных снах болезнь охватывала весь мир, и я рыдал о своей семье, которую погубил своей глупой гордыней. Покажи мне, что мир будет жить. Покажи мне, что яд отправляет не все.
What are those things? What is that?
Отрывок из дневника. Они думают, что они нашли хозяев, Они думают, что они наши хозяева. Думают, что им решать, кому жить и кому умирать. Они сидят в своих доспехах, такие самодовольные и готовые отрезать нам головы за малейшую провинность, как будто мы и без того не боремся ежедневно за свой рассудок, отгоняя демонов. Больше они не будут нами помыкать. Я не вернусь в круг никогда. Я думал об этом прошлой ночью, когда опять был в башне. Они следили за мной, и снова все это вернулось. Все прошлые годы склоненная голова, не сжимай кулаки, будь хорошим магом, будь тихим магом. И я понял, что не хочу никакого мира с храмовниками. Я хочу, чтобы они горели. Хочу этого так сильно, что загорается моя кровь. И я не мог встать, пока Эван все не заморозит. Это все еще бродит во мне. Хочу, чтобы они боялись так же, как и я боялся из-за них. Чтобы знали, каково это. Мы уезжаем на конклав через несколько часов. И если там эти ублюдки хоть раз взглянут на кого-то не так, клянусь, я им покажу настоящего отступника.
Perhaps I should be afraid, facing the most powerful members of the Inquisition. What's it like living as an apostate, Vivian? Do you really think you'll reclaim your power in the Circle? At your age?
Not one word.
Once again, Hawk is in danger because of you, Varric. You found the Red Lyrium. You brought Hawk here.
Just keep talking, Smiley.
Your Inquisitor is a fraud, Cassandra. Yet more evidence there is no Maker, that all your faith has been for naught.
Die in the void, demon.
Выдержка из дневника. В детстве меня возили в Тивентер. Там везде стояли статуи драконов, большие. Я очень боялся между них ходить. Страшно было, что укусят или дохнут огнем. Родители на меня шикали и говорили, что магистрам драконы нравятся, потому что это символ их силы. Драконы – животные неразумные, ужасные. Архидемоны, которые вылезают в каждом мором, пощечина Создателю. Мы все это знаем, но магистрам все равно. То же самое и с магами. Такая опасность, такая сила в руках тех, кто не готов к ней, а магам все бы лишь красоваться. Маги в Прохождении и Орлее хотят быть такими же, как магистры, править нами, держать в страхе, чтобы мы шли мимо и гадали, укусит, не укусит. Я стал храмовником, чтобы держать таких магов везде, и уже многих убил с момента восстания, которое мы все предвидели, между прочим. Теперь же Верховная Жрица хочет, чтобы мы с ними встретились на конклаве и дали им шанс заключить мир. Я пойду, буду улыбаться, но если решу, что каменный дракон готовится укусить, ударю первым. Я уже не ребенок, и я больше не боюсь.
Did you think you mattered, Hawk? Did you think anything you ever did mattered? You couldn't even save your city. How could you expect to strike down a god? Fenris is going to die just like your family, and everyone you ever cared about.
Well, that's going to grow tiresome quickly.
Рождение страха. Изящным почерком. Не стоит в твоем возрасте так беспокоиться, малыш. Выпиши сюда все, что тревожит, когда страх называешь, он съеживается. Дальше неровным детским почерком. А вдруг порождения вернутся? Папа сказал, что он когда-нибудь умрет. Порождение под землей. Порождение у нас под домом. Порождение вылезает из-под крыльца. Что солнце умрет. Черные крошки на хлебе. Вдруг это мор. Что заболею и умру от мора. Что стражи придут и заберут папу обратно. Что папа будет драться с порождениями и умрет. Темное пятно у папы на руке, которое он прячет от мамы. Папа говорит, что слышит музыку.
Minor demons. Little fears scurrying to serve the nightmare and feed on its scraps.
And of course, they look like giant spiders.
Spiders? I see maggots crawling in filth.
This is the Fade, my dears. Demons have no originality. They pluck their shapes from your...
The nightmare is closer now. It knows you seek escape. With each moment, it grows stronger. We only have a short time. Ask what you must.
So, can you tell me what you are?
I told you. I am helping you.
Yes, but are you her, or some kind of Fade remnant of her? Or a spirit imitating her?
Our world is never that simple. What if the answer is none of those things? Or all of them? I am what the Maker made me. The question is, are you what the Maker made you, Inquisitor?
I was meant to become the Inquisitor.
But what is the Inquisitor? And how will she change the world? You believe in your purpose, and that is good. That is your power.
You still haven't answered my question. What are you?
I am what you see. All other answers rest in you.
Tell me why you're here. Why take part in this?
After heaven, I hid here. I watched quietly, learned what I could, and searched for some way to help. And then you came.
I don't know what that means.
Corypheus and the Nightmare do an injustice to the world. You must stop them. Perhaps you were meant to stop them. Perhaps that is why I am here.
You must know what really happened at the Temple of Sacred Ashes.
As must you. The answer lies in your memories, lost to the Nightmare when you last walked the Fade.
Or you could just tell me.
Would you trust my words? Trust what you have seen.
What can you tell me about this mark on my hand?
You already know how the mark came to be upon your hand. As for what it is the needle that pulls the thread, as well as the key.
I don't understand.
It is the needle that passes through the veil, as little else can. You are the thread, and it is the key that locks or unlocks a door to the Fade. It lets you walk in the Fade physically, and survive. Without it, Corypheus must find another way to the Black City. It is part of you now, and cannot be removed without your death.
So, all of this is just a dream? Part of the Fade?
It is not just a dream. The minds of mankind are made real here. Their hopes, their loves, and their fears. What changes their world also changes this one. And yours are footsteps that move mountains in both. Tread carefully, Inquisitor. This ground is more treacherous than you know.
I'd like to know more about the Nightmare.
It is not simply fear. It is the terror you cannot remember, the horror your mind erases to protect you. When old memories no longer make the veteran soldier's hand tremble, it is because the Nightmare has taken them. Most people avoid their fears. It is simple for the demon to steal the darkest fragments. They forget, and it feeds. Corypheus has helped it grow monstrous.
It makes people forget the worst parts of their fears. It almost sounds like the Nightmare is helping people.
Perhaps it was, once. But now, it helps none but Corypheus. By his hand, it creates more fear and grows even stronger. In any case, robbing people of their fears is never a kindness. At best, it is a mistake born of compassion. Without fear, and pain, and failure, we cannot learn. We cannot grow, as you cannot grow until you recover all that was taken from you.
We should keep moving.
Письмо у горящей свечи. Лунетта. Брешь закрыта, и война между магами и храмовниками наконец закончилась. Настал конец страху и ужасу. В мире снова воцаряется порядок. Как жаль, что ты не видишь, как люди в убежище радуются окончанию войны. Когда ты уезжала на конклав, ведь именно этого ты хотела добиться. Я сделаю все, чтобы твоя жертва не оказалась напрасной. Ты будешь мной гордиться. Твое пламя будет гореть вечно, подобно маяку надежды. Но что-то происходит. Земля трясется, а солдаты бегут к воротам. Покойся с миром рядом с Создателем, доченька. Я буду воспевать память о тебе с любовью. Элоанна. Письмо простым детским почерком. Дверь открыта. Мама сказала бежать, и что порождения тьмы идут. Хотела, чтобы я ушел. Дверь открыта. А когда уходил, была закрыта. Сказала, что побежит за мной, и чтобы не возвращался ни зачем. В деревне даже днем везде лампа, чтобы в дом увидеть. Мама уже тут должна быть, а дверь открыта. Пойду загляну.
Keep running!
Go!
Страх ясновидцев, серый страж. Я присоединился к стражам, чтобы служить во славе. Меч не мог коснуться меня, коготь не мог пронзить мои доспехи, но все же, обреченный посвящением, я должен был умереть один на глубинных тропах. Зов звучит в моей голове. Я сидел у последнего костра в своей жизни, позволяя себе последнюю ночь ужаса и проклиная судьбу, что привела меня сюда. Пусть и служба, и смерть будет моим выбором. Пусть будет величие духа, а не ужасная рука судьбы. Уничтожь мою судьбу, и пусть это будет лишь мое решение.
The breach back in Haven. That's how I escaped. The demon! Keep running! Ah! Go! It was you. They thought it was Andraste sending me from the Fade, but it was the Divine behind me. And then you... She died.
Yes.
So this creature is simply a spirit?
You don't say.
I am sorry if I disappoint you.
Are you her? Did you linger here to help me instead of passing on?
If that is the story you wish to tell, it is not a bad one.
What we do know is that the mortal divine perished at the temple, thanks to the Grey Wardens.
As I said, the Grey Wardens responsible for that crime were under the control of Corypheus. We can discuss this further once we return to Adamant.
Assuming that the Wardens and their demon army didn't destroy the Inquisition while we were gone.
How dare you judge us? You tore Kirkwall apart and started the Mage Rebellion.
To protect innocent mages, not madmen drunk on blood magic. But you'd ignore that, because you can't imagine a world without the Wardens, even if that's what we need.
They're a relic. The days of their usefulness have long since passed.
The Wardens are a risk. Send them away before they cause even more trouble.
I don't know what to tell you. There are a few good ones, but an awful lot of the Wardens I've known went crazy.
Sweet Maker, could both of you please shut up? We can argue once we've escaped from the giant fear demon.
Inquisitor!
The nightmare has found us.
Form up! I'm with you.
We must follow the spirit imitating the divine. At least for now, she is our only means to escape the Fade.
Warden Stroud, how must it feel to devote your whole life to the Wardens, only to watch them fall? Or worse, to know that you were responsible for their destruction. When the next blight comes, will they curse your name?
With the Maker's blessing, we will end this wretched beast.
Шепот из красного лириума. Мы здесь, мы ждали, мы спали, мы разбиты, мы ущербны, мы скверны, мы терпим, мы ждем, мы нашли сны, мы проснемся.
Do you think you can fight me? I am your every fear come to life. I am the veiled hand of Fierce himself. The demon army you fear, I command it. They are bound all through me.
Ah, so if we banish you, we banish the demons. Thank you. Every fear come to life.
I guess things just float whenever they feel like it here. Wonder what's up there.
Законы природы в тени. Проще всего было бы сказать, что законы природы к тени неприменимы. Но хотя путешествия по тени доставляют много трудностей магам, она не настолько хаотична, чтобы поддаваться описанию. Хотя расположение вещей может казаться сумбурным, они функционируют так, как мы ожидали бы от них в реальном мире, Книгу можно открыть и перелистать, хотя страницы могут быть пустыми или содержать бессмыслицу. С помощью пера и чернил можно писать, хотя перо может писать само по себе, а чернила в чернильнице могут никогда не кончаться. Если предметы висят в воздухе, то обычно на той высоте, где они находятся, существует под ними опора, так расположение свечей может очерчивать несуществующий канделябр. Почему же законы Создателя здесь искажаются, но не нарушаются полностью? Почему книга не превращается в дракона, а статуя не разлетается на 1000 огней? Ответ, как мне кажется, связан с тем, что наблюдаемые нами в тени предметы чаще всего рукотворны. Статуя – плод труда скульптора. Ваяя ее, он наделяет ее сущностью, и эту сущность статуя помнит. По иронии судьбы, больше всего игнорируют законы природы, природные же объекты. Каменные глыбы, например, парят в небе. Их не касались смертные руки, их не наделял сущностью смертный разум. Наверняка это не узнать, но, полагая, умей гномы видеть сны, менять тень согласно своему миропониманию, камни в небе не висели бы.
Or maybe it's best we never find out.
Храм Думата. Смотри на храм Думата, бога тишины, говорящего с верными во снах, их словами во снах их, словами страстными не поколебать волю его, криками отважными не победить его, ибо тишина его подчинит себе все, а тайны его известны лишь достойным. Смотри на храм Думата и бойся его. Страхи сновидцев. Ребенок. Убежище сгорело. Мама плачет, когда я не вижу. В горах холодно, у меня болят ноги, но мама говорит, что жаловаться не надо, потому что другим еще хуже. Она говорит, в убежище приходило чудище Корифеи, и только благословение Создателя нас спасло. Не чувствую я никакого благословения. Чудища приходят каждую ночь, когда я сплю, но я не хочу плакать и будить маму. Я скучаю по сэру Фырку. Сэр Фырк всегда спасал меня от чудищ во сне.
It's hard to trust my footing in this place.
Воды тени. Непонятно, что представляет собой здешняя вода. То ли это прекрасное проявление самой тени, то ли настоящая вода, каким-то образом переливающаяся сюда через разрыв, вероятнее всего в Кэствуде. Хранители страха. Это место никогда не было в почете. Сюда шли твари с севера, неся с собой траву, именуемую мором. Они убили многих воинов и истощили землю. Даже их кровь была ядовитой. Мы боялись их, и было из-за чего. Как не сильны мы были, они шли на наши крики ужаса, питаясь ими. Эти камни хранят крик Аламари, где появлялись отродья тьмы, там воздвигали мы эти камни, чтобы могли твари насытиться страхом и уйти. Если же они не насыщались, каждый мужчина вкладывал свой крик в камень, пока не иссякал, а после разводил огонь, чтобы выжечь крик, брал меч со щитом и сражался до смерти. Когда все мужчины умерли, то же самое делали женщины. Было то в традициях племени или нет, следом за ними и дети, даже если они могли держать лишь ожоги для костра. Помните наши слова: отдайте свой крик костру, выжгите его, чтобы они вами не завладели, и сражайтесь. Прогулки по тени, истязания. Я оказался на плато посреди клубящегося дыма и тумана. Мне не видно было даже собственных ног, а может, у меня здесь и не было ног. Каждый шаг был неверен. Надо было верить изо всех сил, что подо мной есть земля. Если бы я не верил, ее бы не было, и тогда я бы упал в ничто. Меня защищали лишь моя воля и магия. Демон, с которым меня заставили встретиться, принял форму огромного кота. Пока мы бились, он говорил со мной. Говорил, что в конце я дрогну, и тогда он набросится на меня. Говорил о храмовниках по ту сторону завесы, которые стоят у моего обездвиженного тела. Острия их мечей направлены прямо мне в сердце. Они только и ждут моего провала, чтобы нанести удар. Все решит капля сомнения, семя зарождающегося страха. Появятся они, и мне конец. Демон пожрет мой разум, а храмовники добьют то, что останется от моего тела. Таким было мое истязание. Они заставляют всех магов проходить через это и считают это благом. Но это не хорошо и неправильно. Это бесчестно и гадко. Страхи сновидцы. Исследовательница. Когда порождения тьмы только появились, когда магистры только навлекли на мир свой грех, я была среди первых, кто назвал себя Серым Стражем, и поклялась покончить с мором, грозившим нашему миру. Мы видели архидемона, умирающего от смертельных ударов, и тут же вновь восставшего в теле кого-то из своих слуг. Он не может умереть. Я тщетно искала хоть какой-нибудь способ убить чудовище и спасти свой мир. Я засыпала в страхе, что решения нет, зная лишь, что мор, принесенный магистрами, уничтожит все вокруг, и я ничего не смогу спасти. Покажи мне, что надо сделать, чтобы убить архидемона. Покажи, что мне нужно, чтобы спасти мой мир.
You must get through the rift, Inquisitor. Get through, and then slam it closed with all your strength. That will banish the army of demons, and exile this cursed creature to the farthest reaches of the Fade.
The rift! We're almost there.
Great, Hawk. Why not just dare the old gods to try and stop you?
If you would, please tell Liliana. I am sorry. I failed you too.
You cannot stand against me.
War victory!
I grow fat on your fear. You are nothing.
We're almost there!
You will die in agony.
We need to clear a path! Go! I'll cover you.
No, you were right. The Grey Wardens caused this. A Warden must...
A Warden must help them rebuild. That's your job. Corypheus is mine.
Stroud.
Inquisitor, it has been an honor. For the Warden!
She was right. Without the nightmare to control them, the mages are free, and Corypheus loses his demon army. Though as far as they're all concerned, the Inquisitor broke the spell with the blessing of the Maker.
They came out of this alive. As far as I'm concerned, they can tell whatever stories they like.
That's how legends get started. Or at least that's what Varric always says.
Inquisitor, the Archdemon flew off as soon as you disappeared. The Venatori Magister is unconscious but alive. Cullen thought you might wish to deal with him yourself. As for the Wardens, those who weren't corrupted helped us fight the demons. We stand ready to help make up for Clorel's tragic mistake. Where is Stroud?
Warden Stroud died striking a blow against a servant of the Blight. We will honor his sacrifice, and remember how he exemplified the ideals of the Grey Wardens, even as Corypheus and his servants tried to destroy you all from within.
Inquisitor, we have no one left of any significant rank. What do we do now?
You stay and do whatever you can to help. Stroud died for the ideals of the Wardens. In war, victory. And we are still at war. Do you believe the Wardens can still help?
I do, your worship.
You're still vulnerable to Corypheus, and possibly his Venatori. But there are plenty of demons that need killing.
After all that, you give them yet another chance?
Are you flinging these fools at demons now, my dear? Couldn't you just use rocks?
While they do that, I'll inform the Wardens at Weishaupt what's happened. Best they not get caught off guard.
Thank you, your worship. We will not fail you.
Good luck with your Inquisition. Try not to start an exalted march on anything. And take care of Varric for me.
Hawk sent me one final report. He's on his way to Weishaupt. As for the Grey Wardens, they are fighting demons and Red Templars while staying clear of Venatori. You dealt Corypheus a significant blow, Inquisitor.
The Grey Wardens carry respect in other nations. If we spread word that the Inquisition has their support...
We may gain standing with nations that have suffered under the Blight. I will take the matter to Josephine. While you bested Corypheus here and at Halam Shiral, he himself was not present either time. We fear he is close to finding another way to enter the Fade. When you have a moment, Cullen and Josephine are waiting in the war room with an update. What was she like? Divine Justinia, or her soul, or the spirit that took her form. I read your report. I know it isn't clear, but...
She seemed calm, serene even, and she guided us the whole way through.
That does sound like her.
She did ask me to tell you something, though. She said, "I'm sorry, I failed you too."
Oh. I should finish this before it slips my mind. Perhaps later we might discuss the matter further. Thank you.
have a thing for strapping young Templars, I see.
What's this about?
Oh, nothing. Just something I find rather adorable about you.
I'm curious why you were in Redcliffe in the first place.
Looking up an old mentor of mine. A magister by the name of Alexius. Good fellow. Always thought highly of him. Then one day, he asks me to join the Venatori. I don't know what he was thinking. He knew I wanted to change Tevinter, not regress it into prehistoric madness. The Venatori killed Alexius once he stopped being useful.
Seems odd he would get involved with the Venatori at all.
That's what I thought. I'd hoped to persuade him to leave Redcliffe. I suppose he had his reasons. People will do odd things when they're strung over a barrel. Either that, or I didn't really know Alexius at all.
I'd like to ask you about Tevinter.
Ah, yes. Everyone outside the Imperium always seems quite fascinated by it. Probably why they come up with so many ridiculous tales. Flying cows over Minrathous. That's madness. All right, that one's actually true, but the cows didn't have wings. I digress. Anything in particular you wanted to know?
It seems strange that an entire empire would be ruled by mages.
Strange? Why are you less qualified to rule than some tart with a fancy crown? Actually, the fiction in the Imperium is that mages don't rule. The Magisterium rules. That magisters are all mages is considered a convenient technicality.
What is the Magisterium, exactly?
The upper house of the Imperial Senate, and the only part worth having a seat on. Those seats are split among the circles of Magi, the Chantry, and the major families. All mages now. It's odd that outside the Imperium, you use Magister like it applies to every Tevinter mage.
If you're not a Magister, then what are you called? No special title?
I'm an Altus, which is almost as good as a Magister, depending on who you ask.
I've never heard of an Altus.
Upper class. Those families who trace descent from the Dreamers, the first prophets of the old gods. If you're a mage and you're not Altus, then you're later. Lower class. If you're not a mage at all, you're Soperati. That's everyone else. We do love our fancy words.
I thought the Archon ruled over the Imperium.
Well, yes. Technically, he can overrule laws passed by the Magisterium, but that never happens. Even so, he gets to appoint new Magisters, which means all the families vie madly for his favor. Thus, the Archon gets invited to all the parties. The truest path to Tevinter influence, let me tell you.
If it's a fiction, that means mages do rule then.
Yes and no. Let me put it this way. Mages do rule, but not all mages are equal. If you're not from the right family, chances are you don't rule anything. Maybe you're even a slave. The idea that anyone could be a mage, however, keeps the masses placated.
Can anyone be a mage?
Technically. The potential runs mostly in bloodlines, but it's been known to happen. More importantly, commoners believe it can. Tevinter legend is chock full of mage heroes from humble origins. So they hold out hope. Someday my son or my son's son will be a mage. Someday. Poor sods don't realize that means he'll be a quaestor at the arse end of the 100 Pillars, at best.
Being a quaestor isn't a good thing.
I imagine the average non-mage likes to think so. Counting numbers and shuffling papers all day is better than many occupations after all. If you're a second-class citizen among a pack of piranha, however, your outlook changes.
Let me ask you something else.
Of course.
There's an Imperial Chantry, isn't there? With its own divine.
You people aren't supposed to talk about the Black Divine, are you? If you mention him outside the Imperium, people make that face, like you're urinating in public. But yes, we do have the Chantry, or a version of it. Night and day comparing it to yours.
Is the Imperial Chantry so different from ours?
Not in theory. The main difference is in the whole magic is meant to serve man, not rule over him business. Back home, ruling the unwashed masses is serving them, for the good of the Imperium. Perhaps it started with good intentions, but these days it's academic. The circles are in command.
There are circles of magi in the Imperium.
We don't have dismal little mage prisons, if that's what you mean. They're academies, prestigious ones. We have Templars as well, but they don't cancel spells or whatever your Templars do. They're soldiers.
They don't use lyrium.
Ha! As if there'd be any left for them. They watch for abuse of magic, yes, but only those who are weak or who fall out of favor get dealt with. Mostly they enforce their magisterium's edicts. The Chantry smiles and nods from the sidelines.
Do you really call him the Black Divine?
We don't call him that, oh no. In the Imperium, he's the true Divine. The woman sitting on the Sunburst throne is some backwater pretender. It all stems from a disagreement over Andraste. Marvelous, isn't it?
Why would they disagree over Andraste?
It's not my field of expertise, but the Imperium believes Andraste was a mortal woman, a mage. Down south they say, no, she's the bride of the Maker, ascended to his side, divine provenance, a blah blah blah. We feel better believing Andraste was one of us. Makes executing her less damning, you see. So we elected a man as divine, the South declared war, and we've been feuding cousins ever since.
So, the Imperial Divine is always a man?
All the better to distinguish him from that other one, yes. Don't think there aren't a number of female magisters who bristle at that. Why can't they be divine after all? Same reason you never see a man on the Sunburst throne. Because that's how it's always been done. Excellent reasoning.
Do you consider yourself Andrastian?
The big question. It might surprise you that I do consider myself Andrastian. I simply do not believe in the Chantry. It is a relic, whether back home or here in the south. Something from a bygone age desperately clinging to relevance. It's not an opinion that makes me popular.
I disagree. I don't think the Chantry's irrelevant.
Not to most, no. Perhaps just to me. I'll say this. I may not believe in the Chantry, but I believe in you.
In me?
That the Maker sent you, whether through Andraste or fate. Cassandra is not wrong. You are what we needed most at the moment we needed it. That's what they will say in ages to come.
You don't seem like the religious sort, to be honest.
If you define religious as sitting in a chantry and listening to a blithering hen tell you how to live, then no. If you define it as believing in the possibility that something larger than yourself exists, then yes, by all means. The world is bigger than I, even bigger than you. It laughs at all the things we think we know. The Maker doesn't need me to believe, but I do. The thought of no one at all watching out for us is too frightening.
Let me ask you something else.
So many questions.
I'm wondering if the Imperium would be a useful ally.
I'd think you'd be more concerned whether or not they'd support the Venatori. They won't, of course. At least, not officially. They'll disavow all knowledge of dangerous cultists. Secretly, many Magisters will rejoice at the idea. And if the South falls to chaos in the meantime, all the better.
It would be in the Imperium's best interest to help. Surely it could use allies.
I think the Imperium gave up on the idea of allies a long time ago. We've been fighting the Qunari for what? 200 years off and on? It's a point of pride that we go it alone. They'll sneer at the South behind their silk handkerchiefs and say, "You've had it easy for far too long." Let's not forget that the Inquisition seems to be an arm of the Orlesian Chantry. Anathema so far as they're concerned.
We're not part of the Chantry. The Chantry opposed the Inquisition's formation.
You think that matters? Don't be silly. The Herald of Andraste. Your very title smacks of the Southern Chantry. You may as well be a heathen. I think they're far more frightened what you'll do if you succeed.
Just how often is blood magic used there?
Oh, not at all.
Not at all.
That's what any Magister would tell you. They'd be convincingly offended by the notion too. Of course, what people call blood magic here, and what we consider blood magic, are two different things.
What's considered actual blood magic in Tevinter?
Blood magic isn't inherently dangerous. Using your own blood or that of a willing participant, what's the harm? The problem is that what's permitted only gets you so much power. And what if you need more? You always need more. That's where we get into sacrifices and demon summoning. None of that is done. Not officially. Behind closed doors, it's a different story. Real blood magic can give you an edge, a leg up against your opponents. It's safe to assume that any mage of rank does it. The rest are quietly shut out of power, to put it bluntly.
You'd think the Templars would object.
I imagine they did, long ago. Once, their investigations might have been sincere. Then their balls were cut off. Too inconvenient. Nowadays, only the friendless are accused. And most of them probably innocent.
There must be some mages who oppose this.
Of course. I do. And I'm not entirely alone. Occasionally, there'll be a Magister who makes noise. And then the reform talk begins. All very patriotic. Meanwhile, that Magister will be quietly shunned. Chances are, surprise, it's learned he was a Maleficar all along. Most learn to keep quiet. Me? I enjoy the allure of pariahhood.
Anyone who talks about the Imperium mentions slavery. It's the center of the slave trade.
Ah. That is true.
And did you have slaves?
Not personally, but my family does and treats them well. Honestly, I never thought much about it until I came south. Back home, it's how it is. Slaves are everywhere. You don't question it. I'm not even certain many slaves do.
You think slaves like it that way? Don't be ridiculous.
I didn't say they like it. It's all most of them know. In the south, you have alienages, slums, both human and elven. The desperate have no way out. Back home, a poor man can sell himself. As a slave, he could have a position of respect, comfort, and could even support a family. Some slaves are treated poorly, it's true. But do you honestly think inescapable poverty is better?
At least they're free. They don't have slavery forced on them.
You think people choose to be poor and oppressed? I doubt it. I don't know what it's like to be a slave, true. I never thought about it until I saw how different it was here. But I suspect you don't know either. Nor should you believe that every tale of Tevinter excess is the norm.
That's all I wanted to know.
Fair enough.
I should go.
You know where I'll be.
I cannot believe the Grey Wardens could even conceive of such a plan. To seek out these old gods deliberately, in some bizarre attempt to preempt the Blight.
And calling the army of demons. That's my favorite part.
The demons are nothing. They're a tool.
A tool that would have let Corypheus ride roughshod over most of Orlais.
Even if they hadn't, the entire idea is wrong. The Blight is not something one smugly outsmarts. Forgive me. The entire idea is unnerving.
Ryland's men will monitor the situation.
Yes, sir. We'll begin preparations at once.
In the meantime, we'll send soldiers to assist with the relief effort. That will be all.
Sir.
There's always something more, isn't there?
Wishing we were somewhere else?
I barely found time to get away before. This war won't last forever. When it started, I hadn't considered much beyond our survival. But things are different now.
What do you mean?
I find myself wondering what will happen after. When this is over, I won't want to move on. Not from you. But I don't know what you... That is, if you...
Cullen, do you need to ask?
I suppose not. I want... No. Leave me. Leave me.
Bad dream?
They always are. Without lyrium, they're worse. I didn't mean to worry you.
You can let me worry about you a little.
All right. You are... Oh, I have never felt anything like this.
Neither have I. But I like it.
First the Templars, now the Grey Wardens. Both devoted their lives to fighting evil. Now they serve it.
If I was possessed by a demon, would you...
Please, don't ask me this.
I think I know the answer.
I don't think you do. It's not that simple, and I would rather not think of it.
Do you have some time?
Of course.
The day you kissed me on the battlements, how long had you wanted to do that?
Longer than I should admit.
The time Dalish never bothered you.
I hadn't considered. Elves weren't treated differently in the circles I served. I didn't think what it might mean to you. I hope that doesn't... I mean, does it bother you?
No. If you care for me, that's all that matters. I wasn't trying to put you on the spot.
I'm not very good at this, am I? If I seem unsure, it's because it's been a long time since I've wanted anyone in my life. I wasn't expecting to find that here. Or you.
The Commander of the Inquisition and the Herald of Andraste. That will have people talking.
You wouldn't believe how quickly gossip spreads through the barracks.
Does it bother you?
I would rather our private affairs remain that way. But if there were nothing here for people to talk about, I would regret it more.
Think you could slip away?
I believe so. Wait for me.
Письма Конюха. Личное письмо уверенным почерком. С уважением, Крапером. Меня зовут Айла Гудвин. Я вам пишу по поручению вашего сына Дезмонда. Он сейчас очень занят на конюшне Инквизиции, так что просил написать за него. Я только рада помочь, потому что знаю, сколько времени у него уходит на составление слов. Я тоже служу в Инквизиции, здесь с ним и познакомилась. Он очень хороший, мне нравится с ним вместе работать. Я здесь помощница по исследователям и веду учет пород лошадей. Могу сказать, что он здоров, счастлив и очень по вам скучает. Он очень хорошо о вас отзывается, и я вас почти что вижу перед глазами. Очень рады были узнать, что Мор не так сильно навредил, как мог бы. Если все пойдет хорошо, мы с вашим сыном вместе со всеми остальными сделаем так, чтобы больше таких трагедий не случалось. Айла Гудвин по поручению Дезмонда Кропера.
Someone I knew once described Adamant to me. Adamant is, and always will be, the Order, he said. A guardian on the edge of the abyss. The lone soul that stares into oblivion and doesn't waver. That's what Warden Commander Clarel tried to be. Well, they all tried to be. I'm told her wardens never wavered. They went to their deaths willingly. They died for us. And Corypheus twisted their sacrifice to make it his own.
Clarel thought she was the only one who could save the world. She was arrogant.
But her intentions were pure. Her desire to protect was so great it led her astray. It's not right. To want to do good, to be good, and have that turned against you.
You can't expect everything to go well all the time.
No. But we still have to try, don't we? Even Clarel. She had to try. It's not the armor or the trappings of the Order. It's not the... joining. At the heart of it, all a Warden is a promise. To protect others, even at the cost of your own life.
Inquisitor.
What's the word out there?
7 people want your minstrel dead. They'd settle for smashing her loot, but they're afraid she'd sing about it.
What's the current mood?
Unlikely.
As you were.
Inquisitor.
Have you seen otherwise?
You're right, sir. True
Of
enough.
course.
Armies reborn, compelled to forge on, what will we become? Can you be forgiven when the cold grey has come? Or will you have won?
Commander Cullen did good work at Adamant. Breached those walls like he'd done it a dozen times. Nice job with the demons, by the way.
Can you think of any other tasks suitable for the Chargers?
I suspect Haven's quiet by now. Might be worth sending the boys back. We could recover some supplies, get an idea about the enemy's strength. We could even pick up any stragglers who haven't found Skyhold yet.
We'll talk later.
Inquisitor, come, have a drink. To killing a high dragon like warriors of legend. I know, right? Put some chest on your chest. That little gurgle right before it spat fire. And that roar. What I wouldn't give to roar like that. The way the ground shook when it landed. The smell of the fires burning. Tarsidathan Halsam. You know, Kunari hold dragons sacred. Well, as much as we hold anything sacred. Here, your turn.
That thing you just said, you shouted it during the fight, too. What does it mean?
Oh, Tarsidathan Halsam. Closest translation would be, I will bring myself sexual pleasure later, while thinking about this with great respect.
You shouted that while it was breathing fire at us.
I know, right? Yes, the second cup's easier. Most of the nerves in your throat are dead after the first one. Atashi, the glorious ones. That's our word for them. Atashi.
Why do you think the Gunari think of dragons that way?
Well, you know how we have horns. We kind of look more dragony than most people. Maybe it's that. But a few of the Ben Hasrath have this crazy old theory. See, the Tamasrans control who we mate with. They breed us for jobs like you'd breed dogs or horses. What if they mixed in some dragon a long time ago? Maybe drinking the blood, maybe magic, I don't know. But something in that dragon we killed spoke to me.
When you put it like that, I'm worried I killed one of your gods or something.
Nah, one of Tevinter's gods, maybe. They worship dragons, right? Kill the shit out of them all you like. Dragons are the embodiment of raw power. But it's all uncontrolled. Savage. So, they need to be destroyed. Taming the wild. Order out of chaos. Have another drink. Nice. To dragons.
To whatever this is and the hangover it's going to give me tomorrow.
Anan.
heard what they did out there. Of course.
I did?
Find 18.
Concerns you.
Heard what went on in that Fade thing. What you think went on. Can't even start to believe that business.
It's hard to describe. Guess you had to be there.
No friggin' thanks. Some people are still there. Stroud, yeah? Lost a serious mustache there. And in trade, a busted down bunch of wardens. And they're always weird. Usually, bad stuff happens first, so you're glad when the hero shows up. But wardens are the wrong way round. They're the good thing that means a bad thing is about to happen. Like in Denerim, when the Blight ended.
A lot happened in Denerim. What did you see?
People talked a lot about this one warden. There was a big fight and they died, or... I don't know, maybe they didn't.
The hero of Ferelden. You forget the hero of Ferelden.
That was ages ago. 10 years. I was playing with small painted boxes and burying stuff I stole. I remember more people cringing about magic than Blight. Wardens were an excuse for your stuff to go missing. Blackwall's nice, though. Different from the adamant ones. Need more like him. You have a problem. That, over there, is a full tavern. But everyone's drinking alone. They're all up their own arses about the Inquisition. I can't have fun with everybody whinging. And they'll fall on their swords before Corypheus can push them. I'm thinking pranks. Set a few up, knock a few down. You win or not.
But I'm the Inquisitor. You know, the leader.
Right, they'll never suspect you. What, titles are only for getting away with bad stuff? Let's do something fun. Come on.
Just you and me? You know, I would like that.
Sure, that could work. Maybe. Let's go. Right, General Uptight is gone. What, the desk? Oh, yes. Center of the Empire and all that. What to do, what to do.
This was to lower tensions, not undercut my general.
What, 2 minutes of slightly less than perfect will destroy everything? You have to make sure people don't hate the ones in charge by reminding them people are people all the way up. Oh, fine. Never mind. Let's just keep moving. Right. Little Lady Prissy. What, just the door? Where she greets every important idiot. Yes.
Well, Sarah, what do you have in mind?
Get a bucket. Classic, yeah? 5 minutes of sloppy boss gets you weeks of happy kitchen staff. Except for the one who cleans it up, I suppose. But whatever. Next up. What's that? A locked... No, leave that. Not interested in her hidden things. Not for just a bit of fun. Maybe... feed her messengers something gassy? No, bears don't pop. But they flap and...
Who is up there?
Go! You're fun. Sometimes, anyway. Better than most. Makes you seem normal. If all they got was the Herald stuff, the serious bit, you'd start to sound pretty scary. That works, but not for long.
I should be someone they can look up to and respect.
You their leader or their mummy? Maybe some of them want that, I suppose. Up to you, oh herald of everything. It was fun chasing you, Inquisitor. Nice for you. You! Oh, frig. You did it!
There's you, yes?
Is your network of contacts still active after what happened?
After Lord Arsehole and Vishal? Of course. He may have killed people, but that just means there's more who hate him. You should be one of them. But maybe not. So watch out for that.
Is Red Jenny real? Or was she always just you and your friends?
Dunno.
Don't you care?
Not if it works. I mean, Red is scary because blood. And Jenny is... Look, nobody fears the bunch of people who do random stuff. And besides, it's easy. Nobles want a bogeyman because they need to believe normal people can't get at them. Numbers, yeah? An even spread is all it takes.
Doesn't this mean people think you're guilty of more than you actually do?
I suppose. Does it matter?
Shouldn't it?
Important people kill over imagined insults. I've made more than enough real ones, so no. I don't suppose it does.
We annoyed some nobles. Does that really help all that much?
Gets you paid, for one. You seem happy enough about that. I don't get what's so hard to understand. Your stuff works the same. Your Inquisition, I mean. Punch a bully, people like you. Do it because they asked, or let them think they asked. They like it even more. It's inspiring, even if it sometimes goes tits up and they take a hit back. You know, like Haven.
I get it. Kind of. We just don't think of what you do as that kind of inspiration.
Well, we should take a good hard look at where our people come from. All the same people. It's you that's weird. I kind of like it. Surprise to me too, yeah?
We'll talk another time.
It's all good, innit?
I'll ask around again tomorrow. Well, let me...
No. But you like demons! I enjoy the company of spirits, yes, which is part of why I do not abuse them with bindings. It isn't abuse if I ask. Not always true. Also, I do not practice blood magic, which renders this entire conversation academic. He won't bind me. He's a mage and he likes demons, but he won't help.
We just saw the Grey Wardens try to raise an army of demons. You want Solus to bind you?
He has to! If Solus won't do the ritual to bind me, someone else could. Will. Like the Warden mages, and then... I'm not me anymore. Walls around what I want. Blocking, bleeding, making me a monster.
A mage using blood magic could conceivably do that to any one of us, human or demon.
You should ask Solus to bind you too, and then someone can bind him.
We'll find a way to keep you safe without binding you, Cole.
I have a suggestion, if Cole is ready to listen. I recall stories of amulets used by Raveni seers to protect spirits they summoned from rival mages. A spirit, wearing an amulet of the Unbound, was immune to blood magic and binding. It should protect Cole as well. The resources of the Inquisition could be used to find such a talisman. Good. They will not take me.
see you.
What's been going on?
Not much. Usual. Nice of you to ask. Nice chatting.
Nightingale's eyes, with secret lies in their worth. Raven's tears they cry, but all the while we softly lie and spy on you. Nightingale's eyes, what will they find left behind? Craving as a spy, with her
Not think twice.
You're different. It shines on you, shimmering, sharp. You made magic from the rifts.
I hope you like the way I feel now.
Yes. It's different, but familiar. It reminds me of me. Did you need me?
I'll talk to you later.
Yes.
Nightingale's eyes can free the tides on her head. Craving as
Your
to
worship.
find
We'll talk later.
the key that can unlock the past.
Oh, you know.
Writing does not come naturally to me, as I'm certain you can imagine.
Let me guess, you're composing a love poem.
I couldn't, not even if my life depended on it.
It's not that hard.
Yes, it is. Poetry takes finesse, it takes grace.
You don't think you have those things?
Historians will one day ask what happened at Adamant Fortress, in the Fade. I was there. I saw it with my own eyes. It must be recorded.
That's an excellent idea, Cassandra.
I certainly thought so, until I started writing. I still don't know what to say about the spirit of the divine. I saw her there, heard her voice, yet I cannot claim with certainty it was really her. The Chantry teaches us that the souls of the dead pass through the Fade, so it could have been her, yet even so.
Do you really think it might have been her? A ghost?
A ghost. A remnant of her hopes and memories. Her lingering will to do good. Those things are all possible. Nobody knows for certain what happens after we die. A spirit could have assumed her form, but why? It helped you, as Justinia herself would have.
Perhaps it doesn't matter what she really was, then.
It matters to me, to what I must write. I must interpret what I saw, yet I am no priest, no philosopher. I am a warrior.
I believe it was the Divine. She helped us one last time.
I hope that's true. I want to believe it. When I realized we were physically in the Fade, I was terrified, almost beyond reason. The last time such a thing happened, we created Darkspawn. We created Corypheus. The world needs to know the truth this time. No more legends lost to the ages. I can keep staring at this, but I won't get any closer.
Something I can help you with?
Yes. Possibly. You recall the demon at Therenfall? The one impersonating Lord Seeker Lucius? We never found the real Lord Seeker, or his body. Indeed, I've seen no hint of any Seekers amongst the Red Templars, or anywhere. I have a growing suspicion Corypheus has imprisoned them.
Why imprisoned? He could just as easily have killed them.
Not easily. But yes, they may be dead. Yet a demon of envy does not kill whomever it replaces. It hides them away and learns about them. There must be a trail we can follow, yet so far I have only discovered hints.
But they could have ended up just like the Red Templars.
Seekers do not use lyrium. I assume Corypheus gained control of the Templars by corrupting the lyrium they were already taking. To do the same to a Seeker, you'd have to force the lyrium upon him. That may be what happened, but it couldn't have begun that way. We're missing a piece of the puzzle, Inquisitor. I need to find it.
Finding them obviously means a lot to you.
I left the Order, but I can never abandon them. I cannot even claim that rescuing them would be beneficial. They wouldn't look kindly on the Inquisition. But even so, if there's a chance... If we can spare resources to follow up on these leads, Inquisitor, I would appreciate it.
It's time to plan our next attack. What's the state of the Inquisition?
We're well loved in Orlais. Say the words and Empress Celine will send her support.
And your actions at Adamant denied Corypheus his army of pet demons. With Orlais' support, our numbers match his. Corypheus' followers must be panicking.
My agents agree. Our victories have shaken his disciples.
We've beaten their god twice over. Corypheus must be livid. Where is he now?
After Adamant, Corypheus uprooted his major strongholds and sent them marching south to the Arbor Wilds. His army clearly wasn't prepared to flee. Our victories have them on the defensive.
They've terrorized Thedas long enough. We end them now. If Corypheus is hiding in the Arbor Wilds, that's where we'll go.
But what is Corypheus doing in such a remote area?
His people have been ransacking elven ruins since Haven. We believe he seeks more. What he hopes to find, however, continues to elude us.
Which should surprise no one. Fortunately, I can assist.
I'll ignore that you wandered in without knocking. You have my attention.
What Corypheus seeks in those Forgotten Woods is as ancient as it is dangerous.
Which is?
'Tis best if I show you. This is an Illuvian, an elven artifact from a time long before their empire was lost to human greed. I restored this one at great cost, but another lies within the Arbor Wilds. That is what Corypheus seeks.
This belonged to my people.
I found legends of an elven temple within the Arbor Wilds, untouched. It proved too dangerous to approach, and thus I turned elsewhere to find my prize. If Corypheus has turned southward, he could succeed where I failed. The Illuvian would be his.
What does it do?
A more appropriate question would be, where does it lead? If this place once had a name, it has long been lost. I call it the Crossroads, a place where all Illuvians join, wherever they might be.
This place is extraordinary. How could this even exist?
Who can say? Formed from the fabric of time and space, perhaps. The ancient elves left no roads, only ruins hidden in far-flung corners. This is how they traveled between them. As you can see, most of the mirrors are dark, broken, corrupted, or unusable. As for the rest, a few can be opened from this side, but only a few.
This place isn't natural. It almost seems constructed. It's as if someone made a pocket within the Fade with its own rules of reality. If the ancient elves could do this...
It seems remarkable that the Magisters of Tevinter could ever challenge them. Yes.
It's deteriorating. Eventually, this place will simply collapse on itself.
Who can say how old it is? For now it stands, and thus retains its value.
How did you find out about this place?
My travels have led me to many strange destinations, Inquisitor. Once, they led me here. It offered sanctuary.
Sanctuary?
Not all the mirrors lead back to our world. The ancients were nothing if not resourceful.
If they don't lead back to our world, then...
Places between, like this one. I can describe it no better. For a time, I had a respite with the man I loved. For a time, I had a safe place to raise my son. But only for a time. One cannot remain in between forever.
Нет, не первый, привет.
What do you mean, a few can be opened from this side?
Some of the Illuvians have been left unlocked, like doors accidentally left ajar. All others are closed. They can be opened only from beyond.
Opened how?
With a key.
I suppose you have such a key?
The key can be many things. Each Illuvian is different. I have knowledge as well as power. Often that is enough.
This is all very interesting, but why show it to me?
This is not the Fade, but it is very close. Someone with enough power could tear down the ancient barriers.
And enter the Fade in the flesh, like Corypheus wanted to do with the Anchor.
He learned of the Illuvian in the Arbor Wilds as I did. He marshals the last of his forces to reach it. You have made Corypheus desperate, Inquisitor. We must work together to stop him, and soon.
Ой, я тоже не помню, как выбирается Верховная Жрица. Давно уже играл.
So you have saved the Grey Wardens from their own destructive foolishness. 'Tis for the best. For all their eagerness to shed blood for their cause, we will still need them should another blight arise. 'Tis fortunate my warden was not there, or he would surely have been in the middle of it.
Your warden?
You might know him as the Hero of Ferelden. A lofty title, though he wears it well.
I didn't see you as the type to settle down, Morrigan.
'Tis not so domestic as you picture, but even so, it has far outstripped my expectations. My love is on a quest to combat the calling, the actual calling that signals the end of a warden's life. If he is successful, it will mean a long life for him, perhaps for them all. Once Corypheus has been defeated, I fully intend to join my love once more. Kieran misses him greatly.
It seems odd he went on an adventure and you stayed behind.
We are neither of us so weak we would die of loneliness. Where he went, Kieran could not follow, and thus I remained behind to look after our son. We will be together again soon enough, and I am glad of it.
How can the calling be stopped? Is that actually possible?
Grand Enchanter Fiona was once a Grey Warden, but something removed the blight from her blood. Similarly, a warden mage named Avernus performed experiments that prolonged his life to unnatural lengths. So, we know it is possible. Indeed, 'twas I who found the lead my love now follows in the Western lands. Success is not guaranteed, of course, but he has never lacked for determination.
Are the two of you happy together?
The three of us, and it is little business of yours. But yes, I never thought to find someone in this world I could trust as an equal. He has been a good partner, and a good father. And now I pray we discuss something else, lest these honeyed words make me vomit.
Is there any way the hero of Ferelden could help us against Corypheus?
'Tis unlikely. Corypheus uses the blight, but he is not controlled by it like a true Darkspawn. Still, my love has ever been resourceful. I can give the Inquisition a means to send him a message. He will think this means I miss him, of course. Oh, he will be insufferably pleased with himself. I hope you appreciate this sacrifice, Inquisitor.
This is a special one. For Cabot. I'd appreciate if it was first on your rounds.
It's out of the way.
Yes, and I would appreciate if it were first.
But it's out of the way.
There will be extra compensation for you.
As you wish.
There is a problem that needs your attention, Inquisitor. I am at your service.
As you were.
Of course, Inquisitor.
Inquisitor, the soldiers say you banished the demons at Adamant and freed the Grey Warden mages. I understand from Sister Leliana that the truth is somewhat more complex, but no less extraordinary. She said that you spoke with a figure in the Fade that seemed to be the soul of divine Justinia. I suspect many of the faithful would like to know what Justinia told you.
It wasn't Justinia, just a spirit imitating her. Whatever she said is irrelevant.
Those who have been cast down, the demons who would be gods, began to whisper to men from their tombs within the earth. And the men of Tevinter heard, and raised altars to the pretender gods once more. A verse from the Canticle of Threnodies, reminding us quite wisely to avoid the whispers of demons. Now, is there anything I can help you with?
Farewell.
Farewell.
Just handed some intelligence to the spy master.
I knew Stroud, you know, not well. He led the Wardens near Kirkwall. Not many people knew who he was, but the man was a hero when it mattered. He wasn't the first good man to fall to Corypheus. He won't be the last. This story's no good for heroes.
Some of us heroes will make it. We're just too amazing to die.
Well, if we're both still standing at the end of all this, I'll buy the drinks. Oh, Hawk asked me to tell everyone back in Kirkwall where he's going. Fenris needs to know. Maker, I'm glad I won't be doing this in person. I'd better write some letters. Excuse me. Sorry, I really need to write some letters. Another time, all right?
My dear, I know you must have a great deal on your mind right now, but I need to speak with you. You know as well as I how far the Inquisition's influence has spread, and how desperate the Grand Clerics have become. Our opinion will be instrumental in their election of the new Divine.
They want Leliana and Cassandra as candidates.
The Inquisition may not be invited to their vote, but our actions will certainly influence the Grand Clerics. To sit on the Sunburst throne, a candidate should have grace, charm, and a will of solid steel. Cassandra may lack the first two, but unless you can think of someone better, she is the strongest choice.
What would your ideal Divine do with her power?
The most important thing, of course, is the restoration of the Circles and the Templar Order. The institutions that have protected Thedas for ages must be rebuilt, and the malcontents utterly crushed. We cannot allow anarchists to threaten the lives of the innocent. After we have restored sanity to the world, there will be time to address voices of dissent.
Where can we find candidates outside of the Chantry? There must be someone other than Leliana or Cassandra.
The Chantry is already desperate. They would not look to unordained women if they had any choice. You may have better luck searching the halls of the Imperial Court. There are many women serving the Empire who have the necessary presence and acumen.
Actually, I think you fit the criteria perfectly, Vivian.
Me? My dear Inquisitor, Thedas will never accept a mage as divine.
If you can charm the Imperial Court, you can win over the common folk.
You do have a point, and I suppose there's no better way to restore order than to do it myself. If the clerics could be persuaded to consider me, and it's not impossible, I could hardly refuse now, could I? We will have to be very mindful of everything we do and say, for the Conclave certainly is doing the same. If they look to the Inquisition to provide a sign of the Maker's will, we will have to give them the right one.
I always have time for you, my dear.
Adamant's influence continues, your worship. I submit Lord Livius Erimond of Virantium, who remains loyal to Corypheus. We found him alive, offering extreme resistance, likely because the Order will ask for his head. In more colorful terms. To say nothing of justice you might personally require for what was suffered in the Fade.
I'm struggling to understand how judging you can make up for anything that happened.
I recognize none of this proceeding. You have no authority to judge me.
On the contrary, many officials have communicated that they will defer to the Inquisitor on this matter.
Because they fear. Not just Corypheus, but Tevinter, rightful ruler of every piece of ground you trod in your pathetic life. I serve the living God. Bring down your blades and free me from the physical. Glory awaits me.
You are the worst of us. The damage you have done is beyond all reckoning. A mage's crime, a mage's punishment. Lord Livius Erimond of Virantium, I deny you death. Tranquility.
You cannot! I'm a lord, you pissants! I will not lose myself!
Another of the lingering pains of adamant, your worship. Sir Ruth is a senior warden of the Order. She was one of the many who slit the throat of another to bind a demon. She does not contest this. In fact, she surrendered to us. She requests no mercy. She wants the public justice of the headman's axe.
You're very serious about this. Is more death the answer?
There is no excuse for my actions. I murdered another of the Order. That blood marks me more than the Blight ever could.
Accepting their actions while thralls of Corypheus, many treaties allow wardens any extreme if it opposes the Blight.
I can't do it. I can't use the greater good to justify my crimes, as if it would create a future I could be a part of. It is wrong that this broke me. I've done worse with full sanction. I can do nothing except be an example of the cost.
You feel your life is over? There's a place for such wardens. Sir Ruth, you'll go to the Deep Roads. Your death may be as quick as you choose.
This sends no message. This is just an end.
The situation requires your attention, Inquisitor. Noble Chantry loyalists in the city of Jadar are spreading accusations that you're responsible for the Divine's death. They're unusually organized. I recommend we send people to Jadar to deal with the matter.
Let's send some ambassadors to convince Jada I'm not a monster in disguise.
Excellent. I believe there's much to be gained by winning them over. We've an interesting development, Inquisitor. A petition from citizens of Val Royeaux. They wish to know what Andraste said to you in the Fade.
They think she spoke to me.
Even Leliana can't trace the rumor's origin. It may be expedient to respond to those asking for Andraste's words.
It's not Andraste who saved me.
Few people outside Skyhold know it was Divine Justinia who delivered you from the Fade. You could attempt to tell Val Royeaux citizens the truth, though it may not be as inspiring as they hope.
Tell these petitioners Andraste said she cares for us, always, as she walks by the Maker's side.
A fine sentiment. We will have it proclaimed in Val Royeaux. I was hoping you'd be by. We've received letters from Archon Redanus of Tevinter and King Marcus of Nevada. For both monarchs to come to us is nearly unheard of.
I assume that means they both want something very badly from us.
You're quite correct. Archon Redanus requests that the Inquisition, as a neutral party, destroy a venatory cult on the Nevaran-Tevinter border. King Marcus asks the same, but demands we pledge allegiance to Nevara instead of Tevinter.
What course of action would you take if you were in my place?
Strained as their relationship with Orlais is, I would assist the Imperium. Their friendship is difficult to win, and Marcus is a fading power. Tevinter is the longer, richer gain.
What sort of man is the King of Navarra?
At this point, elderly. Many fear his health will soon fail him. Still, he is a Pentagast. Their dynasty is exceptionally strong in Navarra.
As a Pentagast, will Cassandra be upset if we don't help her relatives?
With all respect to Sigar Pentagast, her interest in politics is best described as thin.
Why is the ruler of Tevinter turning on the Venatori?
He has little reason to love them. Archon Redanus has rightly identified Corypheus as competition. Few monarchs relish a self-styled god showing up to claim their throne.
Tell me about Redanus.
Like most Tevinter rulers, he's heir to an ancient bloodline, politically shrewd, and a highly skilled mage. Rumor also claims he has an incredibly soft spot for cats.
Tell the Archon the Inquisition will do Tevinter the favor of wiping out the Venatori on its borders.
Very good, Inquisitor. We'll inform him at once. Yes?
Когда мы окружили караван, который выследили друзья сэры, сопровождающие сбежали. Организаторов выследить не удалось, без сомнения, груз предназначался врагу. Демон Кол или дух, но магией Венатории его можно подчинить. Ривейнские провидцы защищают духов от такой магии амулетами воли, но в этих краях подобный амулет найти непросто.
At your service.
Инквизитор, туннели готовы. Наши агенты проскальзывают в Каэр-Броннок и обратно, словно тени. Рабочие, которые занимались раскопками в пещерах, также обнаружили старинные гномьи изделия, бытовые, вроде горшков и мебели, но их удалось продать коллекционерам за хорошие деньги. Все оказалось даже проще, чем я ожидала. Клерки императорской бухгалтерии были так потрясены своими разоблачениями и так боялись, что об этом станет известно, что все как один на месте присягнули инквизиции. По донесениям агентов, пока что они ведут себя хорошо. Естественно, клерки послали вам дары, чтобы заверить в добрых чувствах, но мы продолжаем за ними наблюдать. Тем временем наши старания по добыче золота для Скайхолда от этого тоже выигрывают. Демон зависти в цитадели Теренфаль, воплощая лорда-искателя, но не сам лорд-искатель, ни его тело так и не было найдено. Кассандра полагает, что Корифей сделал что-то с ним и с остальными искателями, поскольку никого из ее ордена среди зараженных храмовников не оказалось. Если предположить, что они оставили след, можно попытаться узнать, что случилось.
Inquisitor.
Серый страж сэр Рут желает оправдать ваше доверие, Инквизитор. Она попросилась участвовать в походе в самый глубокий коридор глубинных троп, чтобы ее преждевременный зов сослужил хорошую службу. Похвально, но любая экспедиция на глубинные тропы сопряжена с риском.
All right.
A nice, simple blade.
You were there. I have to know what it was like. The colors, the smells, the magic. I'm sorry, it's just so exciting. You went into the Fade. If you have time, Inquisitor, do tell.
You seemed excited that I fell into the Fade at Adamant.
Excited? Spring gets me excited. This is a wonder. It's probably hard to relate, but dwarves don't dream. So I can't even guess what it's like. I can't even understand what dreams are. But you were there. And came back. Can I take a sample?
A sample?
Oh, that sounded sinister. I meant, can I cut a little piece off of you and do things to it? That didn't sound better, did it?
Have to say, Dagna, This is strange.
You don't have to tell me. All the rules are breaking. And I've broken plenty, so I know. Your people cleaned you up after your fall. I wonder if anything is left. So much to think about.
Sorry, I really need to write some letters. Another time, all right?
Inquisitor. I have been thinking. You remember everything now, yes? The explosion at Haven, the Fade, escaping the breach. In your report, you said Justinia was with you. But only you emerged in the end. Why? Why were you the only survivor?
She knew it was either her or me. And she wanted me to live.
Of course. Of course she did. That's just like her. Her message to me. I failed you too. I'm not sure I understand what that means. Did she say anything else? Anything at all? Please, if you remember.
I'm sorry, Liliana. That was it.
There are no answers in the Fade. Only illusions. A warped mirror. Justinia has never failed me. I was her left hand. Now she's dead. I failed her. A message from Divine Justinia.
That's a shock. You're right reading it.
Thank you for the concern, Inquisitor. But I am. This message was written months, perhaps even years ago, to be delivered to me if she died. I've heard of such contingency plans. A sudden death often leaves loose ends. I'm to go to Valence, a small village on the waking sea. There is something hidden there.
Do you know what you're looking for?
The Divine was a powerful woman who used her position to obtain all sorts of things. Whatever she hid in Valence would very likely benefit the Inquisition, and must be kept from falling into the wrong hands. If I'm lucky, she will have instructions for me.
You take your instructions from me? What sort of help can a dead divine give you?
I don't know. Perhaps something to do with the Chantry. Or it could be personal. She guided me for many years, Inquisitor, as a divine and as a friend. There are days when I still look to her for advice, only to remember that I am alone.
Why hide things in Valence? What's so special about it?
Justinia was revered mother at the Chantry there for many years before she became the divine. It is a place that holds great meaning for her.
I'll help in whatever way I can.
Wonderful. I was hoping you would agree to come with me to Valence. One more thing. If what is hidden in Valence is as valuable as I think, we're not going to be the only ones looking for it. I shall meet you at the Chantry in Valence. Try not to delay. It's just as I remember it.
You didn't tell me you'd been here before.
After the Blight ended, I came here to see Justinia. She was just Dorothea then, a revered mother.
It's peaceful here. You must have good memories of this place.
It was a place of comfort. It is good to see it still untouched by Corypheus.
Liliana, is that you?
Sister Natalie, what are you doing here? I thought you were in Val Rayo.
No, I've been here since Justinia died. This place makes me feel like she's still with us.
Inquisitor, this is Natalie, a trusted friend.
Wait, Inquisitor? You brought the Inquisitor here? My lady, forgive me for not recognizing you earlier.
I wish more people would fail to recognize me.
Oh, I see.
Natalie, listen. There is something hidden here. Something Justinia left for me.
Oh, really? What is it?
I don't know, but we'll find it. I'm curious to see what brought us all here. Justinia's letter came with instructions for me. They were a little cryptic. Always remember that faith sprung from a barren branch. That strength lives in an open heart.
Hinting at something in here. Let's look around.
They still sing verses from the benedictions every Friday. That canticle was Justinia's favorite.
Of course. We'd never give up the traditions of our most beloved divine.
That is lovely to hear. I stare up at the breach sometimes. It's terrifying, but beautiful in its way.
It is beautiful.
Have you seen it by sunrise?
When the sun rises through it, it splits into what looks like 1,000 suns, like a broken mirror.
Yes, spectacular, isn't it? Justinia's enemies are making their move, vying for position and the Sunburst's throne. An open heart. Well, that one's quite literal. And morbid. Said that compassion was my greatest strength. Doubt is easy. It takes courage to trust. What was that? Looks like we opened something. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Good old Leliano was playing you the whole time. Didn't you realize?
They never sing the benedictions here on Fridays, Natalie. Something so simple. And you got it so wrong. I wanted to believe, but you were lying from the start. Keep that pretty mouth shut if you must, dear. You've already told me everything I need to know. The prickleweed burrs on your hem, talking about the sun rising through the breach. It all points to a single place. Morel in the Dales, Grand Cleric Victoire's bastion. She sent you, didn't she? Victoire was always an opportunist.
Who is this Grand Cleric? I've never heard of her.
An experienced cleric. She never agreed with Justinia, but kept her ideas to herself. I suppose now, with Justinia dead, she thought she could make her move.
I want to know what this Grand Cleric planned here.
She sent Natalie here to see what Justinia was hiding, no?
The Inquisition has turned Thedas away from the true Chantry. It must be stopped.
Stop us? You must be joking.
Mother Victoire is well loved by many. The Inquisition has more enemies than you know.
And Victoire thinks she can ally with them.
We don't have to be at odds, Natalie. You could come with us, join the Inquisition.
I was called to serve the Grand Cleric. I will not betray her. Kill me then. I am not afraid to die for my beliefs. At least I still know what I believe.
We don't have to kill her.
No. I must protect the Inquisition. She is an enemy.
I see what you've become. The righteous stand before the darkness, and the Maker shall guide them.
No! This can't be it. There's nothing here.
It's not what you expected. That doesn't mean it's nothing.
There's a message carved in the lid. The left hand should lay down her burden. She's releasing me. The Divine has a long reach, but it is always her left hand that stretches out. 1,000 lies, 1,000 deaths. Her commands, but my conscience that bore the consequences.
She apologized in the Fade. She said she failed you. This is what she meant.
All this time, Justinia carried the fear that she was using me. Just like I'd been used in the past. But Marjolaine's games were trifles. Justinia gambled with the fate of nations. She needed me. No one else could have done what I did. She knows that.
Then you have to let it go. Let her go. You don't owe her anything anymore.
This? Now? After everything you've said and done? And my poor dear Natalie. I called her sister once, but I couldn't risk leaving her alive. Don't tell me to let it all go after all I've sacrificed to get here. Justinia tried to save me. But all it's done is made me realize I don't need saving. There is work to be done. I'll see you back at Skyhold.
Grand Cleric Vitois is scrambling after the loss of her Ancient.
Good. Her support base is in Morale. Tear it down. Grand Cleric Victoire wishes to make an enemy of the Inquisition. I'll give her what she wants. Doesn't Victoire have a young cousin? Lord Firmin? She dotes on him.
Yes, mistress. I believe that is so.
Good. Have him collected. He shall be an honored guest, and make sure the Grand Cleric hears about it.
At your command.
You're dealing with the Grand Cleric a little harshly, don't you think?
Harsh times call for harsh measures, Inquisitor. You see, when I'm ruthless, it gets us where we need to be. It's something to be proud of. Why fix it? How funny that her regret is what finally puts my own to rest. I chose to become her left hand, knowing what it meant. It was my weakness that stopped me from fully committing to my task.
You have a good heart. It's not a weakness.
You're too kind, Inquisitor. Call it what it is. The Inquisition needs me just as the Divine did, to do what no one else dares. Death and deception are my trade. It is what I am. It is what I always will be. I expected the hero of Ferelden to be at Adamant, but he was not with the other Wardens. He studied the Blight after killing the Archdemon, and may know something that could help us. If you like, I can have agents look for him.
That sounds like a wise choice.
I'll make preparations in the war room. Now, was there anything else?
I'll leave you to your work.
I appreciate the warning, but you shouldn't have come yourself. What if the guild found out, or what's his name?
Are you worrying for me or for yourself?
A little of column A, a little of column B. I am the expendable one, after all.
Oh, don't worry, I'll protect you. We'll just have to... Well, this is a surprise. You're the Inquisitor, right? Bianca Davry, at your service.
Your name is Bianca?
It's a common name. Half the girls in the Merchants Guild are named Bianca. The other half are named Helga. I lucked out.
I take it you're a friend of Varric's.
Who isn't a friend of Varric's? You have met him before, right?
Why do you both look like cats that got into the cream?
She's taken a huge risk coming here herself. Maybe for both of us.
You're such a worrier. There's a giant hole in the sky. I think the Merchants Guild has bigger things to think about.
Bianca's got a lead on where Corypheus got his red lyrium.
The site of Bartran's Folly, the tag Varric found, has been leaked. There's a Deep Roads entrance crawling with strange humans carting out red lyrium by the handful.
How do we know they're not using multiple entrances to get to the Tig?
Navigating the deep roads isn't like the surface. There's no accurate maps of the whole system, and there are cave-ins, darkspawn, lava floods. If you find a route that gets where you're going, you don't deviate. Trying to find another way could be deadly.
Who could have given away the Tig's location?
There were a few people who knew. Hirelings from the expedition, a couple of close friends.
How they found out isn't important. What matters is we know where they are now.
If it's such a secret, how do you know about it, Bianca?
I told her. Right after the expedition, I wrote and told Bianca what we found. I had artifacts that needed buyers, and she had more contacts that would pay for them. Plus, I owed her.
You can get there from Orlais. It's a long way to the Free Marches.
The deep roads are all connected. Or they used to be. Collapses and such. Some of them on purpose.
They really are roads. They spanned the Dwarven Empire, went to every corner of the continent, maybe further. In theory, you can get to any Tig using the deep roads, but in practice, there's a reason nobody uses them anymore.
We need to deal with this. As long as he has this source, Corypheus is that much more powerful.
I couldn't agree more.
I'll keep an eye on their operation. If you're interested in shutting it down, you've got my help. Try not to leave me waiting too long, Varric. I've got my own work to do, you know.
Right. That's not going to be trouble at all. Let me know when you want to head to the entrance. I can spare some time. What do you need?
About that lead of yours, Varric.
Sure. The sooner we take care of it, the better.
Do you think this lead of hers is real?
Bianca's too much of a researcher to pass me information without verifying it first. But if you're asking whether she'd lie to us, maybe set us up, it's possible. Not likely, though. She risked the wrath of the Guild coming in person. A message would have sufficed. Whatever she found in that entrance shook her up. That worries me.
Carry on.
I wonder what it is that gives Grey Wardens their legendary skill and stamina. I should like to study one. Would that fine fellow I've seen in your company consent to a careful examination?
You'll be quick, will you?
I'm a runner.
You are wily, your worship. I've received word of your influence yet again, and the rewards. Take note of the effect in the stores. How you do it is beyond me.
As you were.
We are here for you, Inquisitor. Nothing? Unfortunate.